Hi, my name is Brianne Simmons, and this is my presentation on Angelika Arendt. She is an artist in Germany that specializes in sculpture and drawings. All of her sculptures start off as drawings, and then she will later use them to inspire her sculpture works. But before I get started, I wanted to give a trypophobia warning. So this is Angelika on the right, and what sets her apart from other artists is that she has a very distinct style of how she draws and sculpts. So many artists will use nature to inspire their work, and they'll use nature within their pieces. She studies, something that we don't see very often is that she studies the microbiology of nature and loves to copy the design of cells and plant work. So a lot of those clusters of cell life. So like I mentioned with trypophobia, that is a strong aversion to patterns that have lots of dots together, lots of holes, lots of that space. And so if you have that phobia, I would not watch this presentation. But a lot of inspiration from her work, like I mentioned, comes from cell life and biology. She likes to mimic coral textures, cave textures with those dripstones, a lot of cell biology, any plant biology really. She loves to study in nature, and she will use that within her pieces. Currently, a lot of her inspiration comes from the Bible. So she will study the different stories within the Bible, try to figure out what makes the story within the Bible the way it is. So she's currently she made two pieces, the Tower of Babel and the Ark, Noah's Ark. Those are two of her more famous drawings. And then, of course, like I mentioned, nature, everything within that is used in her inspiration. But with that, she will study nature for months on end. She will try to look at things under a microscope. She'll go to atriums or the nature conservatories, not sure what they're called, and she will study how plants grow, the temperature that plants grow at, all of the little things that make cells grow and plants grow, and use that within her work. So these are a couple of her sculptures. She loves to create dynamic sculptures that have movement within them, keep your eyes constantly moving. She will make monochromatic sculptures, so a lot of things that don't have a variety of color, but also are eye-catching and have that depth within it. So you notice within the Four Towers sculpture, a lot of different, those coral leaflets that flow across the piece. That keeps the eye moving and creates a sense of a wave going through, gives that feeling of the ocean. And then with the wedding ring, of course, it's a circle, keeps our eye constantly going in a circle, trying to see the different thickness of the dots within and the depth created. So one end of the ring is very thick where the other is very thin, and then a lot of the dots are very thick and then automatically go to super tiny thin dots. And then with her drawings, she focuses a lot on the artwork of the Bible and the atrium themselves. I should say she focuses a lot on the physical things that she sees. So when it comes to the atrium, she copied in her style and in her own way the things that she was seeing with nature, life, and biology. And then of course we can see those tiny cluster of dots again within the ark. All of her sculptures come from inspirations from her drawings. So in the atrium piece, we see those tiny clusters of different colors of towers type of thing, and she will use those to create her sculptures. These are currently on sale at her gallery. I shouldn't say on sale, on display, I meant to say, at the Ernst Barlach Museum in Güstrow, This is in Germany. The Untitel, this middle sculptures, that means untitled. So those are a couple pieces on display, and of course we see Artemis and Aphrodite on display as well. These are things that we can publicly view, and then of course that thin, tall sculpture of the wider shade of pale. While Aphrodite is from 2016, it is currently on display, but a lot of her works are more recent, like 2022, 2023. And lastly, when it comes to pricing of her work, she does have a page on her website that says purchase my work, see what's available. But when you go to that page, it currently says that none of her work is available for for sale, I should say. If you are able to purchase her work, you're only able to purchase the drawings. None of her sculptures are listed for even a possibility of being sold. Only her drawings are. Her Bible drawings, like the Tower of Babel and the Ark, are her most popular ones that were on the website. But other than that, you cannot get her sculptures. But that is my artist presentation. That was Angelika, and I hope you enjoyed.